Good afternoon, everyone. गुड आफ्टरनून एव्हरीवन. लास्ट लेक्चर आपण सेकंड युनिट प्रोफेशनल इथिक्स बघितलो. डेफिनेशन ऑफ इथिक्स, प्रोफेशनल इथिक्स. त्यामध्ये सब पार्ट आहेत इंजिनिअरिंग इथिक्स, कॉर्पोरेट इथिक्स, बिझनेस इथिक्स अँड पर्सनल इथिक्स. आज आपण 4 पॉइंट बघूयात. फर्स्ट, इंजिनिअरिंग इथिक्स. व्हॉट इज मीन बाय इंजिनिअरिंग इथिक्स? Engineering ethics is field of applied ethics which examines and sets standards of engineers' obligations to the public, their clients, employers, and the profession. Okay, engineering does not have a single uniform system or standard of ethical conduct across the entire profession. Okay, engineering ethics is defined by the codes and standards of conduct, means enforced by engineering professional in societies with respect to the particular set of belief, attitude, and habits displayed by the individual or groups. Okay, means another important goal of engineering ethics is discovery of the sets of माझा आवाज येतोय? Main engineering ethics, engineers and apply the concrete situation, means engineer is the largest profession, and decision and action of engineers affect all of us in almost all area of our lives, namely public safety and health and welfare. Okay. Engineering ethics approaches vary somewhat by discipline and jurisdiction, but are most influenced by the whether the engineers are independently providing profession services to clients or the public, if employees in government services, or if they are employees of an enterprise creating products for sales. Okay, means ethics are principles followed depending upon the moral responsibility and person feels. The study of related of moral ideas, means character and any of people, means relationship of people and organization involved in technology activity can be termed as engineering ethics. Okay. In the United States, the first are usually licensed professional engineers are governed by statute and have generally constant codes of professional ethics. And engineering, whatever he works individually or works for a company, has to go to some ethics issues, mostly under the conditions such as conceptualization or product means issues arising in design and testing department, or maybe an issues involving the manufacturing, sales, and services. Okay, ethics decision the moral values of engineer and need to be consideration, because the decision of engineer have an impact the product and services, is how safe they are to use and company, and it is shareholders who believe in the goodwill of the company. Okay, company and the public and society who trust the company regarding the benefits of the people, and law which cares without how legislation affect the profession, means industry, means job, his moral responsibility, and above how the environment gets affected. Okay. The later working as engineer in industry are governed by various laws, including fiscal, blowing, and product liability laws, and often really in principle of business ethics rather than the engineering ethics. Engineering ethics is activity and discipline aimed at first is understanding and moral values that out to guide engineer profession or practices. Second, resolving moral issues in engineering. Third, justifying the moral judgment in engineering deals with set of moral problems and issues connected with the engineering. Okay, first, a professional engineer. First, professional character engineers, means professional engineers, character engineers in the United Kingdom are distinct from other engineers in that they have obtained some from form of license, characters, or registration from government agency, or character granted authority acting on their behalf. Means any scope of ethics in engineering, ethics of workplace which involve the co-workers and employees in an organization, means ethics related to the product or work which involve the transportation, warehousing, and use the beside safety of the end product and other environment outside the factory. uh, Professional as such, ethics character engineers as such, they are subject to regulation by these bodies are other regulated profession. When profession and characters engineers enjoy significant influence over their regulations. Okay. They are often the authors of the patent codes of ethics used by some of these organizations, and these engineers in private practice often, but not always, find themselves in traditional profession. Clients and relationship their practices. Okay. Engineers employees in government services find themselves on the other sides of same relationship, means morals in order to not only the engineers but everyone has to follow set of morals in order to keep away from getting morally degraded, means our behavior should include the uh, ethics. First, respecting other and ourselves. Second, respecting the rights of others, keeping promises, avoiding unnecessary problems to others, avoiding cheating and dishonesty, showing gratitude towards other and encourage them to work. Means morality commends respect for person, both others and ourselves. It involves being fair and just meeting obligations, and respecting rights and not causing unnecessary harm by dishonesty and cruelty by the hubris. Okay. Engineers in industry, sometimes terms graduate engineers in the US, if they hold a bachelor degree, are not formally accredited by the government agency. Okay. Their profession relationship are much likely to be employer relationship, despite the different focus engineers in industry or private practice faces similar ethical issues and reach similar conclusion. Okay. Means approach for the convince there are two approaches for the engineering ethics. Means first is micro ethics and micro and micro ethics, which deals with decision and problems of individual, means profession and companies, and micro sorry and second micro ethics, which deals with the societal problems or regional, means national level, for example global issue, collective responsibility of groups such as professional society and consumer groups. Okay. NSPM is National Society of Professional Engineers. One American Engineer Society, the National Society of Professional Engineers, as a sought to extend professional license and code of ethics across the field greatness of practice area or employment sector. Engineering ethics is field of applied ethics, which exams and set standards for engineers, obligation to the public, their clients, employers, and the profession. Okay. NSP, what are the ethics of engineers? Means NSPA Code of Ethics for Engineer, National Society of Professional Engineers, short form लक्षात ठेवा. Means hold per amount the safety means health and welfare of the public and perform services only in area of their competency means issues public say statement only in the objective and truthful manner, then act for each employees or client as faithful agent or trustee means avoid destructive acts. Current code of ethics, current codes of ethics. First, current codes of ethics. Mainly American engineering profession societies has prepared codes of ethics. Some go back to the earlier decades of the 20th century. These have been incorporated to a greater or lesser degree into the regulatory laws of several states. Okay. Second, history of engineering ethics. It importance of engineering. It should form part of culture of engineering and be celebrated as something to be proud of. Grounding in ethics means empower engineers to bring concern forward and ensure that the proper level of scrutiny means is applied to unsafe or unethical practices. Hence, the engineer profession emphasis on the ethic dates back to the end of 19th century. In 1946, the National Society of Professional Engineers released it can, canons of ethics for engineers and rules of professional conduct, which evolved to the current code of ethics adopted in 1964. Okay. While these statement of general principles, several has guide many engineers requested in interpretation how the codes could apply to the specific circumstance. These requests will ultimately to the creation of the Board of Ethical Review in 1954. Ethics cases rarely have easy answer. In the Institution of Civil Engineering, means ICE, in the UK has a code of ethics incorporate into the standards of conduct. I mean the Canadian Societies of Professional Engineers likewise have as well. These welfare of public in the performance of their professional duties means canon in engineer civil engineer engineer shall perform services only in area of their competency. Means engineer shall issue a public statement only in objectives and truthfulness manner. Means fundamental canons means engineering in fulfillment fulfillment of their profession duties shall hold paramount of the safety and health and welfare of the public. Means issues public statement only in objective and truthful manner. Means act for each employer client has faithful agent or true trustness. Means avoid respect to acts. Okay. Then general principles. First, codes of engineering ethics identify specific precedents with respect to engineers and consideration of public, land, employee, and the profession. Okay. Then, second, practitioners shall regard the practitioners' duty to public welfare as a paramount. Means professional engineer Ontario means engineers in the fulfillment of their profession duties shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of public. Mean National Society of Professional Engineers. There are general principle of engineering ethics. Okay. Then fundamental canons. Engineering shall hold paramounts the safety, health, and welfare of public. Shall strive to comply with the principles of sustainable development in the performance of their professional duties. Second is engineers shall perform services only in areas of their competency. Third is engineers shall issue public statement only in objective and truthful manner. Okay, means engineering general principle for in engineering in fulfillment of their profession duties shall hold paramount of safety, health, and welfare of the public. Means National Society of Professional Engineers is the practitioners shall regard the practitioners' duty to public welfare as parameters. Okay, means codes of engineering ethics means canon fundamentals identify specific precedents with respect to the engineers. Means consideration for public and client, employee, and the profession. And then engineer shall act in fundamental fourth number. Engineer shall act in profession matters for each employees or client as faithful agent or trustee and shall avoid conflicts of interest. Next, engineers shall build their profession reputations on their merit of their services and they shall not competently unfairly with others. Then engineering shall act in such manner as to uphold and enhance the honor means integrity and dignity of the engineer profession and shall act with zero tolerance for there be fraud and corruption. Last, engineers shall continue their profession development throughout their career and shall provide opportunity for the profession development of those engineers uh, under their supervision. Means engineers shall, in all matters related to their profession, treat all person fairly and encourage equitable means participation without regarding to gender or gender identify means race national origin ethnicity means religion or age orientation means any political affiliation or family marital or economical status. Now, first principle has noted above generally the first duty recognized by profession and character agent engineers is to safety of public. Professional engineers Ontario PO practitioners shall regard the practitioner's duty to public welfare as paramount. The orders of engineers in Quebec means OIQ means in all aspects of his work, and engineers must respect his obligations means towards man and take into account the consequence of performance means of his work and the environment on the life, health, and property of every person. National Society of Professional Engineering means NSTE. NST काय म्हणतो तर engineers in the fulfillment of their professional duties shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public.
ASME, second is ASME, American Society of Mechanical Engineer. Engineer shall hold parameters of the same law means if even if failure to report such as danger does not result in the loss of their life or health. Okay, means yeah, any institute for any national society work in engineering ethics. In many cases, this duty can discharge by advising the client of consequence in a forthright matter, means ensuring the client and means take the engineer advice in very rare cases where even a governmental authority may not take appropriate action. The engineer means can only discharge the duty by making the situation public, means as a result whistle blowing by the profession engineers is not unusual event, means courts have often sides with the engineer, means such in such cases oversoling means duty to employ and confidentially consideration that otherwise would have prevent the engineer from speaking out. Okay. Mm. And then other ethical issues. First, other ethical issues. There are several other ethical issues the engineers may face. Some have to do with the technical practices, but many others have to do with broader consideration of business conduct, and this conduction relationship with clients, concern, competitor, and contractors. Any conflict of interest is any ensuring legal compliance means clients and contract with their briefly and clinkers is the other ethical issues. Barbary and kickbackers gives mails and services entertainment with treatment of confidential or property or information. Okay. ह्यात काय येते तर consideration of employees assets, I means outside employees activities, and some engineer societies are addressing environmental protection as a standalone questions of uh, ethics. Okay, next business ethics. I mean the field of business ethics often overlaps and inform ethical decision making for engineers. Okay, background. First is 19th century, 19th century growing concert. Just take bridge collapse in 1879. At least 60 were killed. Okay, background काय आहे तर as engineer rose as a district profession during 19th century engineers saw themselves as either independent profession practitioners or technical employment of large enterprise. When there was a considerable tension between the two sides are large industry or employees for to maintain control of their employees. Okay. Background काय ते ठीक आहे एवढं काय डिटेल हे last आपलं engineering ethics the turning of the 20th century of turning point. Okay. Boston Molses Digest provide a strong influence for establishment of professional license and codes of ethical is United States. Okay. त्याचं काय background हे नाहीये हे डीप मध्ये नाही ओनली इंजिनिअरिंग इथिक्स करंट स्टेटस काय ते बघूया विलियम मेसर्स रिस्पॉन्स टू डिझाईन डिफिशन्स अनकवर्ड आफ्टर द construction of city group centers is often cited as an example of ethical conduct. Okay. Current status the difference in perspective between the engineer as a profession and the engineers as employee is still reflected today is the use of the title engineer. In US industry, the title engineer is determined by the firm, can often apply to anyone executive design work. Means these can include individual associate degree and degree or degree in engineering technology. Okay. Here the term graduate engineer is pertain to differentiate those with Bachelor of Science degree in engineering. Means while most American state license laws require to Bachelor of Science degree for license and current US model law for professional engineers means require minimum of Master of Science degrees in engineering as Bachelor of Science degree with addition equivalent graduate level work. This has received strong support from civil engineer. Okay. That different in perspective has also lead to the division of engineer society broadly into profession and technical societies means both professional and technical societies advise technical practices through developing standards and providing educational and training resources. However, professional societies like and NSP 1934 also focus on professional practice issues means facing engineers such as licensing, laws and ethics. Okay. Technical societies like AIME, American Mechanical Engineer. Okay. The American Railway Engineering Association, AREA 1899, and later the Society of Automotive Engineer, SAE 1905, and the Society of Manufacturing Engineering, short form लक्षात ठेवा तेवढं बस आहे. Society of Manufacturing Engineering SME 1932 generally does not address professional practice issues including ethics. Okay. Then current ethical issues first if efforts to promote ethical practice continue in addition to uh, to professional societies and character organization efforts with their members and Canadian in ironing and American order for the engineer trace their roots to the 1907 Quebec Bridge collapse. I mean, both required members to swear and means uphold the ethical practice and wear the symbolic ring has a reminder. Case studies and key individual ह्याचं काही एवढं हे नाही engineering failures space shelters column disease 2007 हे नाव आहेत इंजिनिअरिंग फेल्युअरचे कुठले स्पेस भोपाळ वगैरे इंजिनिअरिंग फेल्युअर पण काय एवढं नाही ओके डेफिनेशन आणि त्याचे काय बॅकग्राऊंड आहेत त्याचे कुठले इथिक्स कुठचं आपण बघणारच आहेत एक इम्पॉर्टंट सांगायचं होतं हा ह्याचे शॉर्ट फॉर्म्स लिहून घ्या एक एकचे मिनिट हा प्रोफेशनल इंजिनिअरिंग ऑन्टेरिओचं पीओ हे 2-3च पॉइंट आहेत IQA AIC NSPE ओके फर्स्ट प्रोफेशनल इंजिनिअरिंग ऑन्टेरिओ फक्त शॉर्ट फॉर्म्स लिहून घ्या Second, the order of engineering cubic. ह्याचे पुस्तक पण आहेत, नेटवर पण आहेत आणि लायब्ररीत पण आहेत. इंटरेस्टिंग आहे, तुम्ही घेऊ शकताय. Third, NSPE, National Society of Professional Engineers. And fourth, ASME, American Society of Mechanical Engineer. American Society of Mechanical Engineers. Next, IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineer. Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. Next, AICHE, American Institute of Chemical Engineer. American Institute of Chemical Engineers. Okay. My style. सेकंड आपण बघूयात बिझनेस इथिक्स. फर्स्ट आता आपण बघितलं इंजिनिअरिंग इथिक्स, सेकंड बिझनेस, थर्ड कॉर्पोरेट इथिक्स, फोर्थ आहे पर्सनल इथिक्स. ह्यामध्ये मॉरॅलिटी व्हॅल्यूज काय आहेत ते आपण बघितलंय. सेकंड पार्ट बघतोय ते बिझनेस इथिक्स. व्हॉट इज बिझनेस इथिक्स, also called as corporate ethics पण म्हणतात त्याला. Ethics, moral principle that govern person behavior or the conducting of an activity, is the branch of knowledge that deals with moral principle. Fundamental principles of decent human conduct. It includes study of universal values such as the essential equality of all men and women, human or natural rights, obedience. A man without ethics is will disillusioned upon the world. Business ethics. What is business ethics? Business ethics, also known as a corporate ethics, is a form of applied ethics, means or professional applied ethics or professional ethics that examines that ethical principle and moral ethical problems that can arise in business environment. Okay, means it applied to all these aspects of business conduct and is relevant to conduct of individual and entire organization. Okay. Means these ethics originate from individual organizational statement or the legal system. Means these norms, values, and ethical mean unethical practices are the principle that guide a business. Okay. Uh, uh, in need or importance of business ethics. First is a stop business malpractices, improve consumers confidence, survival business. Fourth is the protecting consumers rights, protecting employees shareholders, develops good relation between the business and society, then creates good image of business, then smooth functioning of business, consumers movement and consumer satisfaction and improvement, importance of labor, healthy competencies. Means business ethics refer to contemporary organization standards, means principles, sets of values and norms that govern action and the behavior of individual in the business organization. Means business ethics have two dimension, means normative business ethics or descriptive business ethics. Means as a corporate practice, career specialization, the field is primary normative, means academics attempting to understand business behavior, and the employee descriptive method means range the quality of business ethics issues and reflect in the interaction of profit maximum behavior and non-economic concerns. Principles of business ethics. Okay. Mm, First, 12th ethical principle: honesty, integrity, promise keeping, and trustworthiness, loyalty, fairness, concern for others, respect for others, law abiding, commitment to excellence, leadership, reputation, and moral and accountability. These are the principle of business ethics. Okay, means it apply means business ethics is applied to ethics means professional examination principle and moral ethics. Write down the names of principle of business ethics. First, honesty, integrity, promise keeping and truthfulness, loyalty, fairness, concern for other, respect for other, law ability, commitment, excellence, leadership. First, honesty. Be honest in all communication and actions. Means ethics. Means ethic executive are above all worthy. Means trust and honesty is the concern of trust. They are not only truthfulness, they are candid or forthright. Means ethical executive do not deliberately mislead or deceive others by misrepresentation, means overstatement of practical truth. Means any other means that when trust required it they supply relevant information and correct misapprehension of fact. Okay. Second, integrity means maintain the personal integrity. Means ethical expression earn the trust of other through personal integrity. Means integrity refer to wholeness of character. Means demonstrated by the consistency between thought, words, and action. Okay. Means maintaining integrity often requires moral courage, means inner strength to do right thing. Means even when many cost more than they want to pay. Means live by ethical principle, great pressure to the otherwise. Means ethical executives are principle means honorable, upright, and they fight for their belief and do not sacrifice the principle of expendency. Okay. Third, promise keeping and truthfulness means keep promises and fulfillment commitment. Means ethical executives can trusted because they make every responsible effort to fulfill. Means later the spirit of their promises and the commitment, they do not interrupt the agreement in the unreasonable technical or logistic manner. Means in order to non-compliance means or create justification for escaping their commitment. Okay. Then loyalty, be loyal means with framework of the for other ethical principle. Means ethical expression justified trust by belong loyal to their organization. Okay. And their people may they work with ethical expression place high values. Means protecting the advancing the lawful means interesting of their companies and their colleagues. They do not however put their loyalty about other ethical principles or use loyalty to others as an excuse for unprincipled conduct. Mean ethical executive demonstration loyalty by safeguarded their ability. Okay. Then next, fearlessness for their any issues for any particular work. Oh, no. means any stride to their fair and just in all dealing. Means ethical executives are fundamentally committed to fairness. Means they do not exercise power, means arbitrary, nor do they use over reaching or indecent mean to gain. Means any advantages nor take undue advantages of another mistake or difficulties. Means ethical executive means committed to justify equal treatment of individual, tolerance, and for acceptance of diversity. Means they are open minded, willing to admit they are wrong, and where appropriate they change their position and belief. Okay. Then caring and respect for others, means treat everyone with respect. Okay. Ethical expression means they must respect for human dignity, means autonomy, privacy, or right, and interested for all those who have a state in their decision. They are courteous, means the treat all people with equal respect, and regardless of race or national or ethical activities, other to the golden rules and statute to the treat others they could like to the treated. Okay. Then commitment to excellence, means excellence all time in all things, pursue means ethical executive pursue means excellent in performing their duties, are well informed and prepared, constantly endeavors means increase their profile in all area of responsibility. Okay, leadership means explicitly honor and ethics means ethical executive are means conscious of responsibility, means opportunity for their position of leader, and seek to the positive ethical role model by their own conduct and helping to create environment in with principle, means principle reasoning and ethical decision making are highly prized. Hmm. Last, reputation and moral. Okay, built and protect and built in the companies means good reputation and good moral of its employees, means ethical execution understand their importance of the own their company's reputation as well as the importance of pride, means good moral of employees. Thus, they avoid word action they might undermine respect. They take affirmative steps to correct, means the conduct of others. Okay, in appointment means last is accountability. Accountability means be accountable, means ethical executive acknowledge and accept person accountability for the ethical quality of their decision and omissions, means themselves, their colleagues, their companies, and their committees. Okay. We must rapidly being the shift from things oriented society to person oriented society, and machine computer profit means motive the properly rights are considered more important than people gain triplets of regional means materialism and military incapable of being concept. Only later Martin Luther King. Okay. Scope of business ethics in compliance means compliance is about obligate that adhering to rules and authority, means the motivation for being complaint could be to write things out of their fear of being caught, right, then describe the ability by the laws. First, standard, strategy, policy, rules, control, requirement, regulation, audit, risks, and law and practices is the scope of business ethics. The ethics issues in finance companies, employees, uh, company employees are confront with include first in accountability, transaction not at arm's length. That is inside trading, securities fraud means leading to manufacturers of financial market. Then exclusive competition. Then Barbie kickback over billing of expensive facilities, payment and fake remunerations. Ethical in human resource management (HRM). Okay, plays decisive roles in implement ethics. Ethics should be pilot issues for HR specialists, Their ethics of human resource management covers those ethical issues arising around the employees, means employee relations such as their rights and duties owned between the employer and employees. Okay. Then ethical in human resources. This is the issues for the humans. First, describes issues that is the discrimination on the basis of age, gender, race, and religion, disabilities, weight, etc. Sexual harassment. Third is the affirmative action. Fourth is issues surrounding the representation of employees and the demoralization. Okay. First, descriptive ethics. Different societies have different standard normative ethics. The action is wrong in the society, but it is right in another. And analytical ethics, morality is relative. Descriptive ethic first. Descriptive. The category of descriptive ethic is the yes to understand. It's simply all describing how people behave and or what sorts of moral standard they claim to follow. Means descriptive ethics incorporate means research from field of anthropology, means psychology, society, and history as part of this process of understanding what people do or have belief about moral norms. Second, normal ethics, normative ethics. The category of normative ethics involve creating or evaluating moral standards. Means it is attempt to figure means out what people should do, whatever their current moral behavior is reasonable. Means traditionally, most of the field of moral philosophy has involved the normative ethics. There are few philosophies out there who have tied their hand to explaining what they think people should do and why. Third, analytical ethics, mean meta ethics. The category of analytic ethics, also often referred to meta ethics, is a periphery. The most difficulty of three to understand. In fact, some philosophies, I mean, disagree as whatever or not it should be considered. Means independent pursuit, means agreeing that it should instead be including their understand normative ethics, means never self it discussed independently often enough that deserve its own discussion there. Okay. Then source of ethical standard, first is utilization approach, right approach, third fairness or justice approach, common good approach, and virtue approach. Okay. Business ethics, parts of business that make nothing but money is poor kind of business. Henry Ford सांगितलेलं आहे. Factor of influence, business ethics, leadership, second individual characteristic, environment, corporate culture, strategy, and performance. Okay, there are these flow diagram factors influence business ethics. First, corporate culture, strategy and performance, environmental, leadership, and individual characteristics. Corporate ethics, the external stakeholder perspective and internal culture, care of all stakeholders, building ethics standards in business. Strategy promises, means corporate vision, means corporate and code of ethics, and corporate strategy and business strategy. Then environmental, there is ethical attitude of top management, means building an ethical culture in societal responsibility. Leadership, leader has teacher, means leader has stewards, means individual characteristics, means first fair, then no political, no descriptioners, no mutual hate, concern to society and environmental, not fall prey to short gains, means build trust and set himself as a model. This diagram factor influence business ethics. Okay. Importance of business ethics, goodwill, profitable, survival of business, healthy competency, customer satisfaction, safeguarding consumers' rights, and smooth function of business, protecting employees and shareholders, and consumer movement, and importance of labor. Then seven dangerous to human virtual wealth. First is Mahatma Gandhi काय सांगितलं, wealth without work, pleasure without consequence, conscience, knowledge without characters, business without ethics, science without humanity, religion without sacrifice, politics without principle. Okay. Seven dangers to human and seven dangers to human. इकडे दोन्ही लिहिलेले आहे. ओके. मेन बिझनेस म्हणजे काय, बिझनेस मध्ये कुठले आपले रूल्स लागू होतात आणि आणि इंजिनियर्स मध्ये तसंच आपण कॉर्पोरेट मध्ये कुठले आहेत प्रिन्सिपल्स आणि फंडामेंटल, तसेच पर्सनल इथिक्स मध्ये काय आहे ते तुम्ही वाचू शकता. इंटरेस्टिंग प्रोफेशनल इथिक्स बुक पण आहे आपल्याकडे, लायब्ररी नाही तर नेटवर पण आहे. वेगवेगळे ह्याच्यामध्ये इथिक्स मध्ये कुठले कुठले रूल्स, रेग्युलेशन्स, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज काय असतात ते आपण बघितलंय. ओके. आपण स्टॉप करूया आता. सगळ्यांनी चॅट बॉक्स मध्ये रोल नंबर टाका. पण नेक्स्ट लेक्चरला पुढचं बघूया. नेक्स्ट लेक्चर असेल जगदाळे सरांचा.